listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Nashville After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Nashville After Show.
Yeah!
It ended. Feeling that one.
We are fired up because we just had a great episode tonight. Right, ladies?
Woo!
Loved it.
Yes.
All right. Being is for doing, and we're here doing the Nashville AfterBuzz show for Nashville, and it is season 1, episode 11, called You Win Again. And there's just so much to talk about that we're just going to dive right into it and start from the top.
Good episode. Strong acting.
Yeah,
Especially-
really strong.
Especially on Deacon. And I thought that Juliette was, that Hayden Panettiere did a great job of covering, what we actors like to call covering. She wasn't pushing, she was covering, and that's what makes it feel real.
Well, tell these people your name.
Holding, oh yes, sorry. Well, JJ.
We always do that. We get so excited
I know,
we forget.
Who are you people?
Hi, I'm JJ Jurgens.
I am Lauren Leonelli.
Whitney Lane.
Jennifer Golden.
Okay, now.
No,
Now
yeah,
we
no,
can get
but
into
I thought that they all did. I don't like when actors push, and this show has a lot of that layer, the acting that has a lot of layers, and I thought Hayden Panettiere did a great job of that this episode.
I thought it was also written very well. There's a lot of great scenes, a lot of great dialogue that was
Great
real, and
one-liners.
really we got a lot of the depth of their relationships and where they came from without it being too overkill, or they just got right to it.
This
And I
was
thought it
the
great.
first time we were like, yes, we love everything about this episode.
People
So-
were telling each other off like nobody's business. It was like, whoa, where did that opinion just come from?
And it was the kind of telling off where you're like, I've been waiting for you to say that. It was satisfying for the audience to watch that happen.
It felt more real and genuine than ever before because people just don't keep those thoughts in all the time.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I was so happy to see Deacon. I mean, we're just diving right into it, but I loved him telling Rayna off because she's pissed me off over her lately. She just always takes him for granted and is just, always, like he said, saying no to him or turning him away, doing everything. So to see him finally have the balls and dig into her like that, I loved to see.
It was a good contrast, too, because the entire episode until almost the very end was basically a parade for Rayna.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
to see the one person she actually cares about tell her off was, that just stuck. That was like a...
Well, he also has over 12 years of resentment kind of built up. He had the opportunity to kind of, he kept going after, and eventually you're going to get sick of that. And he really kind of held it all back that long. He really should have done this a lot sooner than now.
He should have, but I think storyline-wise it felt great because we watched him build up this tension, and then it was nice and satisfying for us to get that pressure relief of him just going, you know what, listen, I need to tell you something. And we're all like, yes, lay it on her. And, she did argue back. Well, I'm on the Juliette. Rayna has been bothering me as well. So used to saying Juliette's bothering me. She's been bothering me a little bit as well. But she did have a little bit of a counter argument that, she said, I didn't think that the 5th time I put you into rehab was going to stick. And every time I dragged you out of a hotel, I didn't know if you were just dead drunk or dead. She clearly was coming from a place of frustration as well.
Absolutely. And okay, so when we were watching, we all said, all right, yeah, Deacon for sticking it to her. And then also, she had a good point.
Yeah.
So how do we feel about that? Because she was saying, I did this 5 times with you, and he was saying, well, you didn't wait for me. You didn't have faith in me. And I mean, I don't know who has dealt with an alcoholic or somebody who's, been addicted to anything, but
That's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
Right.
How many times do you keep your life on hold
Of course.
thinking they're going to change, and then, or do you take the safe bet like she did with Teddy?
Well,
Right.
I
You're
also
gonna have
think-
stability.
I think he said that too because she comes back, and I'm sure after that whole article came out, that's what she was coming to check on him about too. And a little bit, she was like, "Are you okay? Like things are coming out." And I think that was another kind of blow to him because it's like, "Do you not believe I'm okay after 12 years of being sober?"
Well,
So
that's
I
why
think it just blew up right then.
That's why he said, if you have a question to ask me, just ask
Right.
me. You've never
Right.
had faith in me. That's why you left me in the first place. And now you're coming at me and asking me, really, you're asking me right now if I'm drinking because you read it?
on the flip side, though, he has to understand why she might feel that way.
Of course.
Yeah, I don't think that it's that she's never had faith in him. She has. She tried 5 times to get him into rehab, and
that-
she stuck by him
Right.
through that.
But that's how he feels, though.
I mean, hello. She put forth a lot of effort too. I don't think
Yeah.
it's completely like I'm glad he said stuff, but I mean, she put in a lot of time trying to cultivate that relationship. The timing was messed up. She wanted something stable because had spent many years being with someone unstable.
She was pregs.
But yes, I was gonna say that's the key factor we're also
She
not
wanted a
saying
husband.
here. And I think that's a huge betrayal that you talk about not having faith in him. She doesn't even have faith enough in him to tell him that that's his
It's gonna blow
daughter.
up.
But he
That's-
doesn't know this, correct?
Right.
Only
Correct.
Teddy knows.
Right.
How does he not
well,
know?
Lamar. Well, he's just that's going to be the whole
He was in
issue.
rehab.
But if he has a calendar, I think he could figure it out.
Well-
9 months after we had sex and I went to rehab,
May-
you had a baby with someone else who it was my baby.
Okay, but
And he might have thought why there was such a rush for her to get married.
And why
Might
was
have
there?
crossed his-
obviously Lamar.
Right.
Obviously Lamar. I know Lamar had a say in that.
Right,
He was
like appearances.
He was like, you let him get you pregnant and he's in rehab? I don't think so. Now you're dating this guy. This guy's gonna be the father of your baby. No way. That
Right.
was totally her father's doing. That's what I've always thought.
Definitely appearances. She couldn't have a child, probably out of wedlock. Had to cover it up with a wedding. And she also was running away from her father, so needed another man. And that's why she said, that's why Teddy said you needed somebody who was a solid guy. So she needed the opposite of her father, the opposite of Deacon, and ran to Teddy, who she still doesn't really want.
Well, it just that wasn't really who she's in love with, regardless of if there's solid there or
Right.
consistency
Yeah,
or
just
whatever.
like, he's good on paper and he fit the bill of being a good father and stable.
He is a
and-
good father.
Yeah.
You see that too with
Yeah,
the
This,
kids.
though, is very similar to how Juliette is in terms of filling voids and using people and making herself feel better about things. They have more similarities than we once thought.
Yeah. Well, we talked about how we were going to probably uncover that,
Yeah.
but maybe more on
More
her-
on the Juliette
on the
side
Juliette
going
side.
toward Rayna than
Yes.
Rayna toward Juliette.
But hey, they swim in the same swimming pool a lot with all these people. I mean, things are bound to cross over, and you are the company you keep. So if they're all continuing to cross paths, it's because they're all coming from the same place. Maybe
and they're all
Right.
riding the same jet
exactly, and they're all literally.
all the time.
They're just jets at it.
We saw,
no
and
big
we
deal.
saw that jet like about 500 times this episode, and they talked about it again. So if you are of age and you're playing the drinking game, you're probably 3 sheets to the wind right now.
Oh yeah, I forgot you and you
I
started
heard that
game.
one last week.
They just talk about that jet like it's going out of style.
Juliette
wanna
does.
know-
She's obsessed.
I need to know how many people in Nashville, like actual Nashville stars, have jets.
Somebody bing that and then call us in and tell us what you found.
I'm pretty sure they all had tractors and cowboy boots. I didn't know they had
Well,
jets.
that is very stereotypical of you to say, Jen the Jew.
Hi.
No, it's probably true.
Right. Hey.
More you know.
Oh, lovely. Well, let's talk about another confrontation we had, or not really, but like an opening between Juliette and her mom.
That was very surprising.
Well, are you talking about the heart-to-heart they had?
The
or?
heart. Well,
Well,
we
yeah.
can
The
talk about
whole-
it all.
yeah.
The
Yeah.
whole thing, that she was there for the hearing.
Yeah.
I mean, the hearing itself was kind of surprising because
Yes.
there was no mention of it until now we're going to a hearing. On our jet, we're going to the hearing.
Yeah, we all ask, like,
Right.
wait, what was this for?
Shocked.
Yeah.
Before the party that night.
Right.
Courthouse and then the party.
She should fire that assistant for slipping every single time, but it's kind of comedic. But so they're going to this hearing. Juliette and Deacon are the ones there for the mom, and Juliette has to speak on her behalf. And she didn't really grunt all that much about it. She was sort of cooperative.
Yeah, but the point was she wasn't emotional. She didn't show like how much it had affected her and how much her mom had progressed. So it didn't really help her mom. Obviously, she still has to wait another couple weeks. But I mean, it seems like their relationship's kind of coming together. They're starting to really open up to each other and kind of show that they're proud of each other in some instances, which I think is a huge thing for Juliette.
Her showing up is a big deal.
I would agree, yeah.
It was nice to see, again, a little softer side of Juliette. I think it was fitting that in the court hearing, her character would not be able to really get vulnerable and say, I'm really this, you know, I feel this way about my mom, and I'm very proud of her. And I like that she said to Deacon, I believe, Juliette's character said, that was all I could do at that time.
Well, yeah, there's too much deep-seated resentment still that has to come out.
And it's not because she's a diva and because she's like bitchy and because she's snarky. It's because that is just the reason why Juliette is the way she is, I think, is because she's just a hurt little scared little girl.
Right,
Yeah,
so
she's
she
scarred.
puts on this front and won't let anyone hurt her again.
And that is her Achilles heel, her mom. It's like she can't, that was too much. Like all she could say was like, you could tell, I mean, it looked like all she could do was just say those like 4 words and then she had to sit down. It was too much. It wasn't just because she didn't want to help. It's because she really just can't handle it.
But I think it's great that she has Deacon who kind of pushes her to realize what she's keeping in and what she's hiding. And it's like, you know, she's there for Deacon every step of the way. She wants to be around him, and she doesn't see that he's very similar to her mom. And so he always brings that out, which I think she needs, because she needs kind of an outside perspective to give his point of view on her mom.
Yeah, I think so too, because it's so easy, and it's like that with our parents, you know, it's so easy to just resort to being the little kid and being, you know, lashing out like she did to her mom at the party when her mom was embarrassing her, and, you know, so it's easy to do that. And I think it is nice to see her have those moments with Deacon, and then for her to come back and be with her mom, and just watching her, like you talked about the acting, watching her get so emotional and her eyes watering up when her mom was, you know, saying, I don't even want to say I'm proud of you because that means I don't want to take credit for it. And she just had a really great moment with them.
Yeah, and saying she's Rayna's equal.
That, I thought I could see a choice happening there where she went like, that's all I wanted to hear you say. I mean, one of the most important things, because that was, we're finding out slowly, which we kind of predicted, that Rayna was her idol.
Right.
And to have her mom say that, who probably wasn't even coherent for most of her life, all of a sudden now is, and she's recognizing that, and it's like her moment of like, wow, I finally made it. And I think in that moment, Hayden Panettiere as an actress made a choice to let that really affect her and sink in, but then she covered it because she's not really just gonna burst out into tears. So I mean, the whole time she was like, and that's real life. Like when someone's, you know, having a hard time being vulnerable, you don't just all of a sudden explode.
No.
Like you
go through the emotions and you feel, and
but
then
you keep it. You're still have this guard up. I like that she does that. I like that.
Well, you could have guessed that Rayna was going to be her idol. I mean, you can see like her. I mean, I actually enjoyed the tension on the plane because it was kind of like funny tension, you know, and like
with the
it
bean
wasn't
dip. Where's my bean dip? Really?
Like, you know, she was just
that's a
acting
stereotype
like a
right
child.
there.
Yeah, she was
Where's my
just being
bean
her
dip?
age right at that point, you know, because she's young. She's acting like, you know, she's selfish. But I mean, you could have guessed that was going to happen because their relationship's obviously going to come back around eventually. I mean, I think Juliette looks up to Rayna. Yes. It's just going to be when she's going to admit that, and
it's going to be a tough path,
that.
right, for that to actually evolve.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, actually, to that effect of her being a child, it's almost like Deacon is a father to her. And her only friend. I mean, it's a little creepy because they've done the sex, but they've done that, and it's always been creepy. But he really is the only, you know, sort of adult in her life, friend in her life, person guiding her, helping her with her mom. Yeah. And she opens up to him about it, obviously, because he has the similarities to her mom. But I like that he called her out, too, and was like, I am the same as your mom. Yeah. But you're so much harder on your parents than you are on everybody else.
Which is what you were saying.
Right.
I think that I like that she offered Deacon a little guidance this episode as well.
Yeah.
Because I think they all have something to offer each other. They all have their things that are, you know, Juliette can be a diva, and Deacon might be playing the victim a little here, and Juliette is a little annoying because like she's kind of in her own little world, and then Teddy, it's like, you feel bad for him, but they all have their thing, but they're all really helping each other still. They all have some, and especially in this episode, they all had really, really great things to offer each other in conversations.
Which is real life. I mean, you know, everyone has those vulnerabilities or the things that you can offer to help other people out. So it makes it more relatable when you're watching it, you know?
Yeah.
Tonight seemed more like real situations.
It did.
That's probably why we liked it so
many
much.
of them. Yeah.
We were invested in everybody's issues. So.
Yeah. Let's talk about, you brought up creepy situations. Let's talk about your guys' reactions to the opening where they're on stage and Rayna is digging her hands in Liam's hair, because we had got quite a good response.
Get it together, girl. Like,
was
no.
weird.
In front of so many people.
That's right. It's like that was clearly sexual and
Tension,
weird, and she's doing it in front of how many thousands of people watching this?
For
And
that, it's like, why even show up to your husband's mayorship things if you're doing it for appearances to then ruin the appearance by doing that?
weird. So weird.
So weird. We did have actually like a lot of viewers that wrote in about a possible relationship tryst, I guess, between
Brewing.
between Liam and Juliette, which we didn't even see. It was in
Well,
the
I kinda
previews, I
did.
think.
I kind of saw that.
There was some
home on my
sexual
couch.
tension just because, just because, and some people brought it up about how he kind of, you know, talked back to her. Nobody really stands up to her.
Right, but it almost seemed more like
Now it does,
mean
yeah.
guy,
It was pretty-
mean
yeah,
girl
yeah.
kind
Well,
of thing.
you know, there were also one of our viewer listeners was talking about.
Music is my escape 13.
Yes, Music is My Escape 13 was talking about how he thought that Juliette and Liam were going to hook up.
Yeah,
because
right,
remember,
that's
they
what-
did have that moment where.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we were
just
saying.
saying.
But
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think
No, sorry. Yeah.
Hi.
I was looking down at the same time that you were, so I just realized that. But I don't know.
No,
Well,
not
I mean,
now.
they seem like they've almost killed him off.
Oh,
but
thank goodness. I did not like the way he handled himself.
They coined a cute little name, should they have been a relationship, as Juliam.
Which is
Yeah.
very good. I like that.
Me too.
Creativity
And,
points.
yeah, we like these. Speaking of these kind of things, we definitely read all your guys' comments on YouTube and iTunes. So we love doing this show for you. So guys, tell a friend about it. Get everybody watching, and send us comments, things you want us to talk about, discuss, and we love your feedback. So go ahead. Yes.
We do
Well,
love it.
more
We
about
do.
Liam though. So
Yes.
we have the lady from LA Records who comes in. What was her name?
Callista.
Callista.
I like her as an actor.
She is, she
Yeah.
was good. I mean, she played her part well. But obviously she's trying to get Rayna James. Gonna kind of show her for the next 5 albums, is what she said. But we come to find out, she's a good negotiator. Obviously, she's telling Rayna what she wants to hear.
Yes.
Rayna
About
feels like
the plane. She sent her
Yeah.
a plane with a bracelet.
watch,
A
really
watch.
nice
A watch.
But obviously, Rayna feels like it's moving too quickly. Come to find out, Liam would get a big chunk of cash from helping sign Rayna.
There was something up there. Like he's a very aggressive person. I mean, even with Juliette jumping on the stage and laying there, and just he seemed a little aggressive. So it doesn't surprise me that he was like swindling a deal behind her back.
I also don't know that I blame him for it.
Well, no, I mean,
But be
Because-
honest, don't lie by omission.
Right,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
yeah,
Right. Like, I think he could have said, hey, I talked to this person for you. I get a cut if you do this. It's totally up to you. It's great for the following reasons. X,
Let's
Y,
talk
and Z,
it
that
through.
plane, that
Yeah.
watch you got. I don't know. But it was the artist that came out in both of them of taking the credit. That was the frustrating part, and that's why I think she was like, no, because if you compare him to Deacon never took the center stage with that.
Well, we're finding out in this episode that that Rayna likes the attention, the limelight.
Right.
Well, I mean, makes
I mean,
sense.
why
She's
wouldn't
a
she? Why wouldn't
musician,
she?
yeah.
Of course, but I mean, we're seeing it a little bit more than we thought we would.
I agree, and that's what I think is making us start to, or at least me anyway, start to not like her as much, because that's the Juliette side of her that's coming out, is that it really is all about her, and she does kind of get on her high horse a little bit about well, I'm out, I'm the breadwinner, and
She
I'm out
holds
making the band.
grudges.
Yes.
That's what it is. It
Like,
makes Teddy feel bad over and over, and it's like, that's no relationship. That's not healthy. But, by constantly saying, I'm the one that's bringing in the money, I'm the one that's done this and paying for the house, it's like, why keep beating him, beating him up?
And it is it is painful, because it's like she is done, and she just keeps dragging him along. Lauren, you were saying when we were watching those scenes, it's like, there's your answer. she's over it. She's not even into this. She's not even like communicating with you.
She's almost a
that is, like, very,
sociopath.
yes, and then it's very selfish. But then she wants Deacon's attention, then she doesn't. Like she does definitely want the limelight.
Yeah, I feel like we need to discuss that Teddy thing a little bit more. Whatever.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, I agree. I think she wants the limelight, but I also think she's just trying to figure out. She also, I don't know. There's just so much to it because she wants to be happy too. It's not fair. I don't know if she sees that. I mean, I'm sure she's smart enough to realize it's not really fair to Teddy to continue. And you just see her being selfish, but I don't know. I still feel like
It seems
she
like
wants
she doesn't really have a backbone. She's been controlled by so many different people, and like her career is controlled by other people, and then she fights for the control, and then she takes it, and then she loses it again. It's just a battle for control, and I feel like she kind of goes wherever the wind blows her that makes her feel good.
Right.
And it's a very selfish quality, but I'm sure, obviously, we can go into psychology, that this started a long time ago with her father and her mother's issues, and all of that. So
well, definitely the males in her life, her husband, you know, she blames it all on that and feels like she's always kind of listening to what they want. And now she's doing something for herself, so maybe that's why we see it as selfish. But it's like she has kind of done what her dad said or tried to keep peace with Teddy. Maybe it's time for her to just rebel and be
call
her
a
own
therapist.
person.
Just saying.
Yikes.
Sometimes you need somebody to talk to.
Yikes.
Yeah, I think she probably should. All
Wait,
right.
we also don't see that she has any friends, by the way.
Her
True
manager.
point. Good point.
She's a nice person. I don't hate her. I like her.
I like her, and I still ultimately want her and Deacon to get together.
Yeah. Right.
I just am feeling a little like it's like she wants to be with Deacon, but then she doesn't want to be married. It's this wishy-washy kind of, I'm just stuck in here and I'm gonna do this.
She's probably worried though. Like, what if she just goes and leaps into this with Deacon and he was like reverts back to how he used to be?
I think there's also some kind of give and take with like, if she's above someone, then she made the right choice. It's like confirming her fears. So if Deacon is suffering, it makes her feel better and saying like, oh, I didn't choose you because you are suffering. You know, and it makes her feel like, okay, I did make the right choices, which is why she then went at the end was like, Teddy, you were the right choice. Was that because you feel like Deacon's...
She wants him to be happy. I don't see her wanting Deacon to be beneath her.
I don't think she wants it to. I think she subconsciously does.
Yeah, I think you're saying
it's a power play.
It's confirming to her if he is struggling that she's like, yes, okay, I did make the right decision. He's never going to be like straight and, this is a better choice as the father of my kids.
But it's like 12 years he hasn't.
I know.
Come on.
I'm saying. Yeah.
People have some deep-rooted issues. Those go on for however long they're going for.
Yeah,
True.
All right. Well, speaking of issues, let's move on to talk about Scarlett.
Get the marbles out of your mouth.
We said, what is she saying like 500 times?
Okay, and let's...
Sorry,
it's not going to change.
Let's clarify. We don't dislike Scarlett. I'm sure she plays a very nice human being on the show.
In all fairness.
And I'm sure in real life, she's a wonderful person. It's just hard to understand her when she talks. She's a great singer too, but we can't understand her.
We're not getting why nobody on the set is like, what?
Right.
Yeah.
I need you to do that line again and make it up.
Yeah.
All the other direction, stellar. The wardrobe, amazing.
Right.
Songs, perfect. Talking,
so
not
that means
as great.
Watch the show together and help each other out, because that's what we do.
Closed caption. I don't know.
Close caption. Well, let's talk about her choices this episode. Her with Gunnar and her music choices, and
I like it. She's kind of starting to have a little bit more fun. I mean, she still cares about Avery because she went to watch him perform, and you saw so many girls just like, Avery, and I'm like, come on, he does not do it for me. I'll just say that.
Do you blame her though? I'd be curious too.
Oh, I would go.
Yeah.
But still, like, ugh, he's not gonna be too successful in the end.
No,
obviously.
No.
Yeah, not making comments like asking about his banner and go ahead and take the off in the band so it's just his name.
Yeah.
He has all those
that was a little much.
Terrible.
Yeah, that was a little much.
But he's just been a little much this entire time, and it's just getting old for all of us. We're like, really, him again? Every time we watch him come on screen.
We could kill him off and be okay.
So we were kind of
we thought that was going to happen.
That, when he was in the car at the end.
No, he didn't.
Our dream might come true.
We're like, he's going to drive off the cliff or wherever
cliff
he was.
in Nashville.
And he was like on a alleyway or something.
Slowly creeping by a house of fun.
Listening to his song on the radio.
Which would have been a wonderful moment had he had people to share it with.
I think that's why we talked about that. That's why they did that. I mean, it was sort of like he was, oh, yay, this is a great moment. And then do you want to be on top and alone, or do you want to, that was his.
Do you want to be with friends and celebrate these victories together? And, you know, I feel like you want people along for the ride, or otherwise there's a saying somewhere in here. Is the ride worth it?
We know what you're saying.
I don't know.
Can we talk about how awkward he was at the party? He kept running after Juliette. It's like, dude, know your place. He's like, I know what it's like to be in this fame thing. And
She
we're
was
just
scared.
Like, no. She was just like,
I was scared.
This dude?
She was great. Her face was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, how funny.
I was
was a
scared
great
through the
moment.
screen. I was like, no, don't do it.
He was
don't.
just too much.
It was weird.
Walk away.
But so Scarlett goes to watch him. So does his friend JT, because I'm sure they're both curious.
Oh,
and
look
of course,
at them right there on the screen.
Wow,
Nice.
perfect timing. So obviously, good friends. They're good friends. You know, they kind of bonded a little bit after Avery left them both in the dust, and have the proposition of joining together for a band, and including Gunnar in it, which I think
Love
is
it.
smart. The good guys, right? You want the good ones to succeed. So Scarlett goes to talk to Gunnar, and he's just going through his own little thing right there. The girl starts reverting to her old ways, where she's like cries anytime like a guy, you know, freaks out and runs off. But
Not to distract, but while we have this up there, we could talk about one of our favorite scenes of Deacon in this outfit that he had on this evening.
oh,
Right there.
good looking man. Good looking man.
You guys were
that was a hit. I mean, yes.
You better get the
There we go.
For those
You just start unbuttoning it, we would have been fine.
For those listening, it's the scene where Rayna walks up to the house and Deacon's putting out the for sale sign.
This was a really powerful scene for him as an actor. Like, I thought he did a phenomenal job
He
here.
commanded the screen. That's for sure.
It was great. Yeah. We had to throw that in there for all of our
and
fans who wanted more Deacon time. in this.
And Rayna did a good job of taking that, like, she held back a little. It was like, oh, you know, I liked that it showed her having a moment of thinking about what he was actually saying and being affected by it, too.
I do like that she never lashes out.
No, she handles herself
She
very
doesn't. No,
well.
she doesn't.
And that's maturity.
Sometimes you want her to lash out a little.
I'm sure at some
Maybe
point
it's
she will.
building at the end.
Yes.
Wow.
Everyone's
The
lashing
baby
out.
reveal.
Yeah, we've seen
Baby, the baby.
The baby reveal.
Well, let's finish talking about Gunnar, because he got his guitar back after he had received a phone
His
call.
brother brought it back.
Yeah, but
Which
where is
was-
Jason? He should be in a halfway house. Is that right?
Yeah,
That's where
but
he
we
should
saw
be.
him flee. We saw him, well, not flee, but walk out the door.
Right.
Slowly. And he had a gun on him. And he left the hotel room, and Gunnar was like, all right. I'll
Right.
And now is gonna get in trouble here in the
Definitely.
future.
That would have been my prediction.
Yeah.
For sure, because you can't hide information from the police.
Is he really going to get found out, though? I mean,
That
He's the
story
only
also
one
made
that knows. He's the only one that knows, so
I
who
don't know.
knows?
But he got his guitar back. So his brother did a good thing. He had originally sold it so he could get that gun, we think. I mean,
Right.
it seemed that way. And then he got the guitar back, so his brother seems to be doing the right things. Maybe he'll turn himself in. Maybe he'll bring himself to the halfway house.
Yeah. I don't know, but Gunnar's a good guy, I think. He always comes back around, you know?
He
like,
does.
He lashed out a little bit at Scarlett because he's going through his own internal
I mean,
things.
1 minute before she showed up.
Right. And so, but then he comes back around, and she knows something's going on, so she's not completely oblivious to it. But he shows up with the band to be like, you know what, you were right. Like, I'm sorry. And I think, of course, it's going to come out because Scarlett's going to dig a little bit deeper, hopefully, and find out what's going on.
Yeah, he seems to be opening up, and she said through the marbles, I hope that, or, you know, you can talk to me about whatever's going on, or if something's going on with you, you can talk to me about it. And I think that they will become closer. Now they're doing this whole band thing. There's still that, like, Rayna Deacon dynamic between guitarist and singer person.
Yes.
And they're on that path.
But I love that band together. When Avery
too.
drove by, I was like, this is going to be really good.
Yeah, that song was
And
like
successful.
a good
Sound
time.
good, but yeah.
I liked it.
And they were lit by those like fun lights. It just looked like a perfect.
They looked like they were having fun.
Yeah.
For sure. And that's what
That's what
wanted.
it's
Yeah,
about,
straight
you
up
know?
success.
And if
It
they
did.
do get successful, good for them because they deserve it.
doing it the right way.
Unlike Mr. Avery. So,
Good stuff. Let's talk about Deacon and Juliette. now that let's talk about the last scene, or the end, where he gets on the plane.
Well,
and
she finds him first, though. We should talk about how she finds him in the apartment.
Okay.
Because that was a little bit frightening for all of us. We were like, oh no, did he drink?
I thought he did.
I thought he did. Did he fall off the bandwagon? And luckily, I guess he was just trying to find a different way to channel his anger by destroying his guitar.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty ominous. They showed him with his phone about to call Coleman, which you call your sponsor when you're having issues. And surprisingly,
they were trying to make it look like that's what he was doing, and I thought he was.
So
I thought he
did
was.
too. And
I was like, I don't know. I didn't see any bottles. That's why I was like, okay, I think he's gonna be okay. And Juliette was like, I know a sober drunk. So
as soon as she walked in and said that, I knew it wasn't. But I just felt like, oh my God, I was scared.
Right.
I'm so glad he wasn't.
I'm glad he was stronger than that.
But big revelation, which we all knew, but he's finally admitted it, I think, to himself and to Juliette, that the reason he became sober was for Rayna, and the reason he stayed sober was for Rayna.
And now he's got to do something for himself.
That was really sad.
It was sad. Yeah.
And Juliette saying that she's not what you need in your life. Is that, I don't know, that's a little bit of...
I don't think she has a place to say that.
Right. Yeah.
Because who cares at this point? If you want him to make steps moving forward and doing things for himself, it doesn't matter if you say it's about her or not. The point is it's about himself. Focus on that.
Yeah. And Juliette's also always got her own kind of
agenda.
And snide remark of some kind.
Yeah, like we talked about before, it's not really that fair because she doesn't know the history of, Rayna taking him there 5 times and being there. What would she do if she hadn't taken her mother to rehab barely once, So if she had gone through that as much, she might not be as quick to make little comments like that.
Yeah, she doesn't see all that Rayna's put in, and I also don't think she gives Rayna the benefit of the doubt either.
Well, she knows nothing about her other than what she chooses to believe. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But so we see that he does take her up on her offer, and that was like a great reveal.
Totally.
I thought for a second when they were waiting on the plane, the jet shot, that when Juliette was saying, no, we need to wait for one more, that it might have been her mom.
Oh, I knew it was him.
Yeah.
I think I started to figure it out the entire episode. I was like, okay, he's obviously gonna end up with Juliette, because you see Liam and Rayna the whole time. You see Juliette, that big banner, and she's kind of in the background. So they got to give her a little something for the store. And she got Deacon.
Yeah, and it's too boring if Deacon would have just gone back and taken Liam.
Right.
Yeah.
And they had, and Rayna and Teddy had that moment where they're like, oh, this is gonna be great, and then of course.
The pain in his face. Slash just kind of betrayal, because he thinks that Deacon's getting on that plane for Rayna.
And thinks that Rayna knows about it. And she's aware and didn't tell him.
We all felt sick. Teddy felt sick, and Rayna felt sick.
And those poor little kids, hey, Deacon! And hey, you're my dad. But I don't know, Daddy. Neither do you. So,
the drama.
So many levels.
The drama.
But he did look good running onto that jet.
Oh, yeah. He looked like he was, back together. With, he got it back together.
He's harsh, though, man. Rayna's I think it's going to be hard at first, because you saw him sit down. I'm not here for you.
Well, after that whole
I know,
scene,
but she's like, did you call him to get him back here? And he's like, let me be clear, basically, is what he's saying. I'm not here for you.
I like him being a little harsh for her, because ultimately, if they're gonna get back together, which I want, then he needs to. It needs to be. She's gotta be wanting him a little bit, and he's gotta be
balance
a little more
of power.
Hard to get.
He's gotta be the man in the relationship.
Yeah.
And not be the one that's being taken care of all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what Rayna does. That's what Rayna does.
It's always in her shadows, too.
Right.
He's got to have his presence.
And that's what he's saying, I think, is when he's saying, I'm not here for you, he's saying, I'm here for myself, really. I mean, it's not about Juliette, although Rayna may think that. I think that whole, sexual chemistry between Deacon and Juliette, that's no more. They're just...
I agree.
Yeah.
She's going to try. She's going to try, and he's not going to...
And she's going to try because she wants to take him from Rayna.
Exactly.
Not because she wants him.
Right, because she's selfish.
It's a game.
We got that.
It's a game.
She's still young. She'll grow up.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
We'll see.
Maybe season 2.
Over time period, she will grow up.
Eventually. All right, are there any other big topics, you guys? Any things you want to bring up?
No, but I'm excited for predictions.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh, yes, some news and gossip.
Yeah.
Yes.
Time for some news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay, so some good ratings news, you guys. Nashville beat out CSI to win in the Wednesday 10 p.m. hour.
Wow.
And this is, I know. It's getting better and better. So they had the highest among adults 18 to 34. So women 18 to 34 and also 18 to 49, which is like the big group that they're trying to get the older age bracket in there. And it actually delivered its highest rating since its debut in October.
Wow.
So with this episode, I guarantee it's going to be a little bit better even next week. So
Oh yeah, in 2
good
weeks.
for the show.
2 weeks.
Okay, so our favorite Sean Butler, or at least mine, I'm obsessed with him. He's played by Tilky Jones on Nashville. So apparently he's dating Lucy Hale from Pretty Little Liars. And so remember, he actually was on Pretty Little Liars at one point, but she tweeted a photo of him kind of in a bed, like cuddling up in a bed, and it said Lucid Dreams. So who knows? He could be maybe they're hanging out in Nashville. She's recording her album. He's there for the show. So that's just a little gossip.
My dream is
on his
ruined.
part.
Just FYI.
Mine too, Phil. Mine too.
Wait, but speaking of him,
Yeah.
we had some people with predictions or talking about the fact that they liked the Juliette and Sean's storyline, but that it was just super awkward when she proposed, and that whole weirdness went awry. And where did he go?
That's not real life. It's just not.
No, well, I'd have a jet. That's real life, really.
Maybe.
Somebody
Maybe for
else
her.
wrote in wanting for a baby, correct?
Well, that's what they said.
Yes.
They heard the line was, "We made a boy."
We
didn't
can't
hear.
even-
Miss Emerge says that.
Okay, well, a little bit about Hayden in general. Let's just talk about some stuff. She did an interview with Assignment X, and she spoke about the confrontation scenes that her and Connie Britton do, and how it was kind of tough at first because she really respects her as an actress, but now they've gotten to know each other more, so they know kind of the boundaries of how to confront each other and act, like they hate each other. So that was interesting. She also mentioned, because we know that she broke up with her boyfriend, Scotty McKnight, football player. She mentioned it was like getting a divorce because being in the limelight and having to go through a breakup just brings all that attention. So maybe similar to her and Sean, Juliette and Sean on the show.
But did they say why they broke up?
No.
Bummer.
But she did talk about how she is so focused on the show right now. That's the only thing she's thinking about, so who knows. Okay, so Deacon, we got to talk about Chip Eston. He did an exclusive interview with Wet Paint, and he talked about how we're going to see more of his past revealed. Of course, people brought up the whole Maddie thing. Is that his daughter? And also about him joining the tour, which we obviously saw happen. So he's like, you all, whoever interviewed him, he's like, you all should be the writers because it seems like you know what's going to happen. So we'll be finding out more about him and his whole journey, I think, through the alcoholism and stuff like that. We'll get to know a little bit more of the past between him and Rayna, I think. Okay, couple more things. Connie Britton told People now that she's a mommy, she has a lot of mommy guilt because she's on set for about 16 hours a day shooting. She feels really bad that she's not spending time with her son, Yobi. So she's feeling some mommy guilt right now. But she's doing a great job as a mom on Nashville. We'll give her that.
I wonder where that
baby's
name
a little sad.
Where the name Yobi comes
That's
from.
interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? She adopted. Okay, last thing. I know we don't care for Avery too much, but a little bit about Jonathan Jackson. They did 5 things you don't know about him. First of all, he played Jess Tuck in Tuck Everlasting. Did anyone see that movie?
I remember that.
Okay, that's one of them. He has won 5 Daytime Emmy Awards for General Hospital.
Oh,
There we go.
Interesting.
There we
he
go.
is quite soapy.
Yes. Okay, it makes sense, right? Yes. Yeah. He's also a writer. He writes mystical poetry. I don't really know what that is.
Weird. That's weird.
Yes, and
It
we
just
know
sounds
we
like a hobbit.
obviously know that he's a lead singer in a band, and it's the band A Nation. They actually are featured on One Tree Hill a lot. I actually downloaded some of their songs, and I didn't realize at that time it was.
So you're actually a
Johnny
fan.
Marr.
Yeah.
Of one song.
Oh, you love him.
Yes.
No, she
Team
doesn't.
Avery.
And last thing. Last thing, which is fine news for us. He's actually married and has 3 kids.
Oh, ba-bam.
So,
Wasn't
Jonathan
expecting
Jackson.
that one.
3 kids. How old is this guy?
I don't know. We need
He's
to
not
find
that
out.
Ages
not
well.
young.
He
He's not
ages
that old.
well.
That is it for news and gossip.
All right. That was great.
Lots
Thanks.
of gossip.
All right. Well, now let's go ahead and get into some predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Oh, still going. Still going.
It's a long one.
All right. Who's up first?
You kind of said one
Yeah,
of them.
yeah. The one I kind of said was going
Yeah.
to be mine. That I think Gunner's going to get in trouble because of lying to the cops, and I think the cops are going to come after him. And he's going to be in trouble.
And I agree with that. I'm piggybacking on that, and then that's going to be Avery's way to make his way back in. Like, he's a criminal.
You mean Gunner?
Avery is going to try and make his way back in
gotcha.
with
That's
Scarlett.
good.
Sorry, with Scarlett. I wasn't.
I think Scarlett would understand though and take him in and be like,
I don't know.
She's weak.
Take Gunner in.
I don't know if
Yeah.
she's...
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know.
Well, we did see on the preview that Avery comes back and says she was mine first. So
Yes.
something's happening.
Yes.
So that's a good one.
Yeah.
True. Way to watch the previews.
We see the fight.
Yeah, but maybe because she likes bad boys, that now she's drawn to Gunner even more and actually makes a move.
Well, I think something's going to go down.
yes.
You see a little bit of...
There's a lot of moves happening in
I'm
the next
excited
episode.
about the moves in the next episode.
Like Rayna and Deacon.
Oh, we all screamed.
Really screamed.
Yes,
Really
it's-
screamed.
I am dying to see how that actually plays out.
Yeah, so hopefully you guys watched the trailer for the 2 weeks, but at the end they showed Rayna and Deacon in an elevator and
In an elevator of all places.
yeah.
Sexy
That's what we were
Can't
saying.
wait 2 weeks for this one.
I know.
Oh, it's going to be good. It's going to be so
What
good.
else? I think, obviously...
Sean's done.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
he's got to come
He's
back
got
because
to.
they never finalized the divorce and whatever. And maybe she is pregnant. Who knows?
That would be nice.
No.
It's good.
All right.
I don't
well,
think so.
Thank you guys all for watching. If you guys want to get any AfterBuzz cool swag, AfterBuzz, excuse me, cool
It's a subsidiary.
swag and AfterBuzz. Okay. Anyway, go to AfterBuzz.com and there's a merchandise store on there now. You can get lots of cool things.
Like a onesie.
Yeah,
For your baby.
For your baby. Or for
Maybe
yourself.
maybe for Juliette's baby.
Her baby boy, that's about to
Who
come
knows?
about.
All right, where can we find you, ladies?
You can find me at Jen the Jew on Twitter, Instagram, and Jenifer Golden is my website, jennifergolden.com.
Love it. I'm at Whitney Lane 1118 on Twitter and whitney-lane.com.
And I am Lauren Leonelli on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and my website.
And I'm at jjjurgens.com or JJ Jurgens on Twitter. So
Love
thank you
it.
guys all for watching.
2
We'll see you in
weeks.
2 weeks.
Yay!
Yeah.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.